You thought you could just play Olaf? Just like that? Well, you're obviously not as prepared as me. I went ahead and got myself a plate of Swedish meatballs. I am ready. You guys better enjoy that gag, it cost me like €3. These fuckers ain't cheap. Anyhow, who is Olaf and what should I know about him? Well, Olaf is a melee champion that relies on close quarters combat. He's best played top or jungle, and I personally prefer to play him in jungle, so that's what this guide will be focused around. He has an easy clear and very straightforward abilities, making him a decent first time jungle champion. He has a lot of gap closes in his kit, which allows him to catch up to almost any fleeing enemy. And his ult grants him immunity to CC for 6 seconds. That's Tryndamere ult level bullshit, which is why high CC teams aren't as good of a counter to him like they are for a jungler like Zinzao, who is similar in playstyle. In his kit, he has a skill shot that slows and deals damage, a self buff, a single target ability that deals true damage, an ult that gives him 6 seconds immunity to CC, that also removes any CC currently on him, and also gives him bonus attack speed and bonus movement speed, and a passive that gives him more attack speed the lower life he is. But that's enough for the intro, let's get started, beginning with his passive. Olaf's passive is called Berserker's Rage and is very simple. For every 1% missing health, you gain 1% bonus attack speed. So, the lower HP you are, the harder you'll fight, which is the true Viking spirit. Well, that was quick. Let's move on to his Q. Olaf's Q is called Undertow, and what it does is you throw an axe to the targeted location, dealing damage to all enemies it hits, and slowing them for 1.5 to 2.5 seconds, depending on how far your axe has traveled. At max level it costs 60 mana, has a 7-second cooldown, applies a slow 45%, does 250 plus 100% bonus 80 physical damage, and has a minimum range of 400, which would look like this, and a maximum range of 1000, which would be this big. After you've thrown your axe, it lands on the ground. You can then pick it up by walking over it to reduce your Q's cooldown by 4.5 seconds. This ability is perfect for chasing down fleeing enemies, because you can throw your axe, slow them, and then pick it up and almost instantly throw it again, slowing them again. You need to keep in mind that throwing your axe further might not always be the smartest choice. If you're in a fight, you might want to do a weak throw so you can easily retrieve your axe, maximizing the amount of times you can throw it. Don't you just love League? I joined a game of blind pick. I say jungle. Someone with a potato PC loads in 2 seconds after I called it. Says jungle in chat, picks Warwick and Lux. Guess I'll go back to playing Civ. I want to die. Olaf's W is called Vicious Strikes, and what it does is for 6 seconds you gain bonus attack speed, lifesteal and enhanced healing. At max level it costs 30 mana, has a 16-second cooldown, gives 80% bonus attack speed, 22% bonus lifesteal, and for every 1% missing health, you get 0.5% enhanced healing. So, let's say that you're at 50% HP, your heals would be 50 times 0.5, so 25% more powerful, making a 100 HP heal a 125 HP heal. This enhanced healing also counts for lifesteal, so your lifesteal also will become more powerful. It seems like everyone is playing Warwick, so I got a good joke. What do you call a support Warwick? A Wardwick. You get it? Because support what? Olaf's E is called Reckless Swing, and it's a single target ability that deals true damage at the cost of your own health. And it also shoots a little thunderbolt. That's cute. At max level it costs 75 plus 12% AD health, has an 8-second cooldown, does 250 plus 40% AD true damage, and has a maximum range of 325, which is this big. If you kill your target using this ability, you get your health cost refunded, and for every basic attack your cooldown is reduced by 1 second. I couldn't think of any more shitty puns for transitions, so I went ahead and looked online and I found this one. What does Jax have if he's 777? He has the jack spot. I'm so sorry. Olaf's ult is called Ragnarok. This name had me interested, so I googled it and it's some sort of Norse mythology. Also, if you go to images, you get a bunch of weeb shit, which I wasn't too stoked about. Anyhow, I'm sidetracking. Olaf's ult has an active and a passive. Let's start with the passive. His ult's passive is quite simple. What it does is it gives you bonus armor and magic resist as long as your ult isn't active. So, just to clarify, as soon as you pop your ult, this bonus armor and magic resist will be gone until your ult is over. At max level it gives 40 bonus armor and magic resist. His ult's active is a bit more complicated. On activation, Olaf removes all disables from himself and he becomes immune to them for the next 6 seconds. Pfft, almost. Look at this fool. Not even close, baby! During these 6 seconds you also gain bonus attack speed. For the first second of this ability, you also gain bonus movement speed when moving towards an enemy champion. At max level it costs nothing to cast, that's cheap, has an 80-second cooldown, gives you 80% bonus AD and 70% bonus movement speed. I normally don't have this category, because honestly I didn't even think about it. But in my defense, it's easily disregarded as common knowledge that you pick Flash Exhaust on Support, Flash Heal on ADC, but since it's important to Olaf's kit, I bring you Summoner Spells. On Olaf, you want to pick Ghost, and Smite if you're jungling obviously. The reason being that you're a melee champion that relies on being in the enemy's faces to do damage. Picking Ghost will allow you to catch up to a fleeing enemy, or run headfirst into a group of them engaging a teamfight. Can you believe this fool? He's trying to run. I'm gonna get ya. Hey buddy, guess what? Slam dunk! Now that we've covered his abilities, here are a couple of tips and strategies. You're all about up close damage, relying on auto attacks a lot. This is why speed is so valuable. Landing your Q, using Ghost and ulting if you're CC'd will allow you to catch up to any fleeing enemy. Which is why ganking is great on Olaf. If they overextend, they're done for. Do keep in mind that I said landing your Q. This is a must for Olaf, and if you can't manage, then you're gonna be missing out on many free kills. You might want to pop your ult sooner than later. Saving it for when you're at 20% HP isn't gonna do much, since you'll most likely be dead soon after. I mostly use it right as I'm all-inning, or if I'm stuck in a stun and really want to get out. Also something I learned the hard way. These blast cones will not pop you over the edge if you've ulted, since it counts as CC. So yeah, keep that in mind. You are basically a rape train if you combine your ult and Ghost, allowing you to sprint right past the enemy tanks and supports, ignoring all CC thanks to your awesome ult, and focusing on higher priority targets like mid laners or ADCs. This is a very risky strat, but if your team can back you up and the enemies are distracted, this might be an easy way to eliminate a big part of the enemy's team damage. Let's move on to the leveling order. Start by unlocking your Q, then W and then E. Max your Q first, then E, then W. And of course ult, whenever it's possible. I don't know why I'm using my voice in such weird manner, but I am not gonna keep doing this cause it's actually kind of hurting. In my last couple of videos, I did a predetermined jungle route and also made it into a song. This isn't really necessary for Olaf since he has such an easy clear, but I'm gonna give you my route anyway, and it's also gonna be in song form, so go fuck yourself, here it comes. I always thought Brad, ask Lane for help, go get raptors and maybe gank mid or the other adjacent lane. You could also continue on the other side of jungle, grabbing blue and those other things, before maybe ganking again or packing. I know I'm putting you guys through hell, doing all these songs. But it isn't gonna be for nothing, no, I'm gonna make an album of all my top jungle route song hits. And it's gonna be fucking amazing. But the question remains, what to build? Well, there are a bunch of directions you can take Olaf in, depending on what team you're up against. The starting items are Hunter's Talisman, Refillable Potion, Ward, and the core items are Stalker's Blade with Cinderhulk, Titanic Hydra, and Ninja Tabi boots. Righteous Glory is also a good option. If the enemy team has a lot of attack damage, you buy Random's Omen, Deadman's Plate, that type of stuff. If you feel like you need more attack damage, you can always buy a Black Cleaver. And if the enemy team has a lot of magic damage, you could always buy a Spirit Visage. Also, if you want to be a fucking little bitch like me, you can go ahead and buy yourself a Guardian's Angel. Masteries. Here you go, do with it as you please. Olaf has a bunch of skins, but the only skin worth buying is, you guessed it, Brolaf. Why? Well, because all the other ones are shit. And in this one, he speaks and acts like a frat kid and it's fucking amazing. Don't believe me? Here are a couple of his most famous quotes.
You can't arrest me! My dad owns a dealership!
Also this one.
Yo, summoner. Summon me like 6 hot chicks. Stat!
Interesting. This too.
I'm OP? Your mom is OP.
But his death quote is most definitely his best quote.
Your mom!
Very classy. He has this dance, which is meh. He has a laugh too, where he throws his axes up in there. It's okay. Nothing special. He's always talking about Greggy Eyes, and he has one of those cool drinking helmets with Greggy Eyes. And his axes are also made out of cardboard Greggy Eyes packaging. But anyhow, that's gonna be it for this video. I spent way too long making it. It took me over a week. About time too. It's been like 3 months since the last one. But anyhow, I hope you enjoyed it. And that was all. Bye.